Friday night.
Go ahead.
Oh, just a moment. Let me just put this here. All right. Let me finish what I was about to say. We live in a very extraordinary time. If you've been following the news, especially the world news, you know that Russia decided to invade her neighbor, Ukraine. And, this is something which is unprecedented, not since the end of World War II has there been anything like it. Anyway, there's a couple of small transit things on there.
Gary's on the program.
He's not on the program.
I'm gonna have to call him back again.
I sent it to him. What's going on here? He doesn't renew his news. He got his notice. He's carrying on.
I'll hold off, Steve, until you're able to straighten that out.
Proceed.
What?
Oh, Gary? No, we haven't received it.
Come on, silence. Oh, God.
As soon as some of this background stuff is over, I'll be able to finish my remarks.
Send it in with the check.
Okay. As I was in the middle of saying, you've been following the news that Russia invaded Ukraine. There's a train element to do. People are sheltering in place in the Kiev and Lviv transit systems, just the way the British used to do in, during the Battle of Britain.
Yeah, the Blitz.
Also,
It's like the
they're
Blitz.
leaving boarding trains headed toward the Polish border. So this has a, and a transit's a very tragic one. So.
And I saw at the protests in St. Petersburg, not only was right outside an entrance to the metro system, but you saw trackless trolleys going by on the wire.
Very good. You were lucky to see that footage, Pablo.
Yeah. Before they broke up the demonstration.
Well, they had some footage of the inside of the metro in Kiev the other night.
That's what I saw, Gregory. That's what I saw.
So Soviet style, like bomb shelters, way underground.
Yeah,
Wow.
right. Absolutely. All right. As we go along, we'll be following this stuff, and I'll be making my little mental notes. The bulletin will hopefully be out within the next few days. First the e-bulletins, then the hard copy. There's one more little announcement I'd like to make before turning the floor over to Paul. And that is Steve Kalka will be putting on a show for the Long Island Sunrise Trails,
Right.
Group out in Babylon.
You have to be a member to see
That
it.
is right.
They're strict about that.
That's very true.
To access the Zoom anyway.
Right.
Yeah.
If you're not a member, they'll accommodate you out at the farmhouse in Babylon. It's about 1.5 miles from the Babylon station of the Long Island.
Yeah, that's right. If you can't, if you're not a member, you'd have to, as you were saying, Pablo, you have to physically be there to watch the program.
Right.
So
I think I did watch one of their programs on Zoom, by the way.
Oh.
I did.
that's
Good.
All right. With this note, I'm going to turn it over to our friend, Mr. Paul Kalka.
Thank you, General Foz. I want to welcome everyone to our February program. We don't have to worry about the inclement weather conditions out there, and we don't have to worry about being locked in, as was just described by Mike, with the security situation at the terminal currently. Well, we're looking forward to this program, and I will mention the next 2 programs we have coming up next month, thanks to the generosity of member Ken Bornstein. having donated DVD on the Mount Washington Cog Railway, a unique railway operation that you should all experience on its way up to the clouds, as we call it. The movie is Climbing to the Clouds. It will be in Ken's very good hands. And that will be next month, the fourth Friday on March 25th. And looking ahead to April, one of our favorite local roads will be the subject of the presentation. On April 22nd, we will see the best of Long Island Railroad 2019, Volume 1. All the hot spots will be featured here. Locations such as Babylon, Farmingdale, Brentwood, Central Islip, Mineola, New Hyde Park, and Forest Hills will all be featured with various equipment of the railroad and also the New York and Atlantic operation, the freight operation of the railroad. So that will be the following month in April. And just to very briefly mention, we'll finish up the year in May. We'll return to part 4 of our series on the London Underground. We return to the Metropolitan line in Sheldon Fosberg's tutelage. And we will conclude with our traditional June program, care of George Chason on the Illinois Central. Details to follow. So please be on board. Obviously, we're going to continue by Zoom through the end of this membership meeting year. And we look forward to the excellent attendance we've been experiencing this membership meeting year with the very best year after year, month every month. And this month will be no exception to that rule in the guise of Ms. Cora Sowa, who is going to take us to Pittsburgh, the city of bridges and the Golden Triangle, and all the very best. So now let me yield the floor to Ms. Cora Sowa. Cora, take it away.
Take it away.
Okay, my program is going to be Pittsburgh Then and Now. Let's get the picture up here, share screen.
Cora,
Yeah.
before you begin, can I just ask a general question? Because
Yes.
we really didn't have much discussion about the club itself. Have we given any discussion now of having real meetings as opposed to virtual meetings?
Well, we were going to take that up the April board meeting.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, Cora, did you just before you start screen sharing, did you just open what you're prepared to present?
Okay, I have it up there. Well, but now I have to find the share screen again.
What-
Well,
It's that down below.
yeah,
says
there's a
the-
green arrow and I press
Right,
on
agree.
it and it says it's been disabled.
Wait, let
Host
me just,
disabled participant screen sharing.
wait, allow participants.
Huh?
Oh.
She has
okay,
to be
try it-
made a
okay,
host,
Try
I
it
think.
now. Try it now.
Uh,
Try it
well,
again.
I selected a window. I've already got a picture up there. Can you see it? There's a picture of Pittsburgh. Can you see it?
Not yet.
No, I just see you.
Wait, did
Hit share
wait,
screen.
click share screen. I enabled it.
All right.
Screen share.
Now
Okay.
do you see it?
Yes,
I
now
think
we
it's
see-
coming on.
Okay.
There we
Yes,
go.
I see it.
There's a picture of Pittsburgh.
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
You see it? Ah,
Yes,
Yes, the Golden Triangle.
the Golden Triangle. Yes.
yes.
Very good. Excellent.
Now I'm also seeing the pictures of you guys up there
I'm
now.
gonna unmute everybody. Just mute all.
Yeah,
I'm
well,
gonna mute-
unmute people because I like to have an interactive
you
environment.
want? Okay, then.
Yeah,
I'll
I
leave
like
it.
to have the comments. In fact, some of the comments that were made when I made a presentation, a version of this presentation to the NRHS. And if you've seen it before, I notice that Greg Hamatas is on. If you've seen it, I've added pictures that I didn't have before. And some of the
Great.
information actually came to me from people who made comments during the presentation. Anyway, you see there,
I like
there is
Pittsburgh.
the
So-
Golden
Okay, go ahead.
Triangle. We ready?
Yep.
Okay, so on the left, you see the Allegheny River. On the right, you see the Monongahela. They meet and form the Ohio River. Understand that at one point, the Allegheny was actually considered part of the Ohio, and the Monongahela was simply its tributary, but now there are two tributaries. And you see there's a nice little park on the point there. That used to be a warehouse district, and I'll be showing you pictures of that later on. Why isn't this going to the next picture? There we go. We're actually going to start somewhat south of Pittsburgh in a place called Green Tree, which is on the way out to the airport. And there's a place called Rook Yard, and this is not one of the better known locations around Pittsburgh. I can show you on the map. You see Pittsburgh with the Golden Triangle, and you follow
Yep.
Route 376, and you follow it out to Green Tree. Here
Looks
is
really
a
good.
close-up of that area. And here's the Hampton Inn. I think this shows it better. Here, Hampton Inn, that's where we always stay when we go to Pittsburgh.
I've stayed there. It's a nice
Yeah,
place.
they have nice breakfasts there.
Yeah,
Breakfast and every morning free with the
it's really good.
yeah. And so you see that here's the highway, here's 376. You get off of 376 and get onto a little road called Mansfield Avenue. Then there's an even littler road. If you've been to the Hampton Inn, you know what I mean. There's an even littler road called Trumbull Drive that is down below the bluff. This is supposedly a 3D Google picture, but you can't really see. This is all hills. This is down in a little valley, and where it says Doubletree by Hilton, that's on one hill. Then there's another hill to your right. This is
There's
down
a
in the
flat piece of land in
trench.
Pittsburgh.
The whole place is hills.
Yeah.
And so there's this
On
little
hills.
Trumbull Drive, and you get to it by going over a little bridge. And some of the pictures I've taken have been for that bridge. And down in the slot is the railroad track, and it disappears up in the upper right. It disappears into a tunnel, which you can't see. Get this out of the way.
Backyard.
Unmute the radio.
This wasn't what I
Turn
wanted to. Why don't I get this out of the way?
Ken, could you turn off your radio?
Yeah, okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah, comments are okay, but background noise, if you're barking dogs or radio or crying babies. Oh, I think the wind has somewhat abated here. We had quite a
Good.
windstorm a few minutes ago, and that was making a roaring sound in the background. I don't know if you could hear that. Anyway, here is Rook Yard, was named for a man named Mr. Rook, who was a publisher and who was a big supporter of the Wabash Railroad. This formerly belonged to the old Wabash Railroad, which was built by George Gould, the son of the infamous Jay Gould. If you look in the other direction, I'm standing on that little bridge. You can see the Hampton Inn up in the background. This is the closest I could get to the tunnel. I did not take this picture. This is from a website called the Brookline Connection, which has lots and lots of pictures of Pittsburgh, and they've put this in the public domain. So I included this picture to show what it is that you can't get to. This is why you can't get to it. This is from one of the upper floors of the Hampton Inn, and you're looking down into the slot. There was one time when I did see just the tops of the cars of a train going by down there. This is looking towards the east. This is a picture of the little bridge itself. And I like to walk. When I'm really feeling up to it, I go jogging. Otherwise, I walk down that Turnbull Drive. There are all kinds of little businesses along there. There's the Hampton Inn, looking back at the Hampton Inn. At this point, the road has come down from up on the bluff and is at the same level that you are, goes out to Carnegie. Carnegie was not where the Carnegie steel mills were, by the way. The Carnegie steel mills were at Homestead, which is further east up the river. And there are all kinds of businesses. There's a post office. These pictures that I'm showing you were taken at all different times between 1974 and 2018. I was hoping to get to Pittsburgh to take more recent pictures, but as we all know, it hasn't been possible to travel anywhere for the last couple of years. So anyway, in 2007, I could walk right up to the tracks. This is funny. The sign says no hunting. It also says no trespassing, but the first thing it says is no hunting. No hunting, no off-road vehicles, no trespassing without written permission, penalty, blah, 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 of the Wheeling and Lake Erie Railway. This is looking down the track. This is another early picture. John Sowa and I have been married for 53 years.
Wow.
And I've been
God
coming
bless.
to Pittsburgh ever since then. Coincidentally, my mother was also from Pittsburgh, but they left for California when she was 6 years old. So I don't really have any Pittsburgh pictures from her. Anyway, my husband is Polish. My mother was German, and they would have lived in totally different neighborhoods anyway. This is another one looking down the tracks, looking up the track. I could have walked up, nobody was watching. They didn't have surveillance cameras in those days. I could have walked right up to the tunnel, but I didn't really want to get run over or arrested. It's a slightly more modern picture, but they still didn't, in this picture, this was taken, I think, in 2014. They still didn't have any barriers. Frack Tech, and this must be a company that deals in fracking sand. This is now owned by the Wheeling and Lake Erie. This is looking down into the yards from that little bridge. And I was fortunate enough to get out the early in the morning when they were making up the early morning train, 2014.
Does that railroad still exist, or have they been merged with somebody? I guess they still exist.
No, it's an independent regional railway, and it has connections. They're based in Ohio, and they have a whole network of little lines that go mostly around in Ohio, and then they connect to the larger lines, the Class 1 railways. I'm looking down into the slot again. There's Mansfield Avenue on the other side. Now, after it goes through the tunnel, it goes over a bridge. It's belonged at one time to the Norfolk and Western, and it still has the ghostly letters on the bridge. That is still in use. So the Wheeling and Lake Erie comes out of the tunnel, goes over this. At one point, it went through the Wabash Tunnel. Wabash Tunnel still exists, goes through Mount Washington and goes to downtown Pittsburgh. Here you see another view. There's another old bridge in the background. I'm not sure that other old bridge, it's been abandoned. It was a line that went to what they call the West End, which is down by the Ohio River. And here we're up on one of these highway interchanges looking back up Route 376, and you can see those two bridges. This is 2012, very rainy day. This is the Wabash Bridge, which no longer exists. After the railroad went over the bridge, went through the tunnel through Mount Washington, and went over this bridge into downtown Pittsburgh, and that was where it dead ended there. And here's a picture that I found where the bridge is under construction, a very nice cantilever bridge. And in this picture, they still hadn't put in the center section of it. And this was the terminal, the Wabash terminal, where it ended with a train shed out in the back. This is where it ended in downtown Pittsburgh. This is all that's left. Pardon?
Where did the Wabash Railroad go to from there?
Where did it go to? Well, it went to Pittsburgh.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'd have to look at a map to show where the rest of the lines went. It was sort of part of the J. Gould, George Gould railroad empire.
Think.
And you can see the piers in the river. That's all that's left of the bridge. The bridge itself has been demolished, but the
Looks
piers
really nice.
And here's, you can see one of the old piers. You're looking across the triangle in the direction of the Allegheny River. This is looking down. There's an island in the middle of the Ohio at this point, and it still does have a an electrical plant there.
Wow.
Yeah. This picture was taken in 1975. You can tell from the poor quality of the photography. But I believe it still does have a generating plant there.
Yeah.
This is a picture which Gary Kazin provided me with, which is exactly the same view. What
You
year
go
was
sound?
this? Yeah, this was
I don't hear anybody.
2018.
Nice shot.
You can't hear me?
Oh, we can.
I hear you.
Oh, I thought you said you couldn't hear. This is looking down the Ohio River.
He must have gotten that shot from one of the inclines.
Well, up on top of Mount Washington, which you can get to by the incline. There are also
Right.
roads that go up there, sort of winding roads.
Oh, yeah.
Cora, I don't hear you.
You can compare the two. That nice new yellow painted bridge. It replaced that truss bridge that you see in the distance.
Nice.
And across the river, on the north side, you can see the Three River Stadium, which has now been demolished and replaced with.
Right.
Yeah, it's been replaced.
Now they have a new stadium.
Yeah. Here's what it used to look like. This is, when was this? I don't have the date here, but there were two bridges going to the point, but they were much closer to the point than they are today. Today, they're farther back from the point. And you can see all of the warehouses where there's that nice little park today. There was with the fountain. That was all warehouses, train tracks.
Industrial area.
And there you see Three Rivers Stadium again on the other side. And looking down in the lower right, you can see the Pittsburgh and Lake Erie station, which is now a very beautiful restaurant. And you can see all the train yards that used to be there. There you get an even better view of those train yards. And you see the smoke in the background. Oh yeah, I'm going back to this one. Oh no, you can't see the south side there. But you can see the smoke rising up from the steel mills.
That's
Ah,
Smithfield Street Bridge in your foreground there.
Yes, it is. I'm going to be showing you a lot more pictures of that later on. My favorite bridge in Pittsburgh, one of my favorite bridges of all time.
And the
You know what's
panhandle there.
And there's the Panhandle Bridge is the next one. And so the streetcars used to go over the Smithfield Street Bridge, but the modern transit trains, what they call it, the T goes over the Panhandle Bridge.
Oh, mute yours.
You know, the Smithfield Street Bridge was designed by the same engineer who designed the Hellgate Bridge and the Queensboro Bridge, Gustav Lindenthal.
Yeah.
There's a nice bridge that doesn't exist anymore. There's another view of that truss bridge. Now you can see that what's there is another suspension bridge. And you can see a tugboat and a barge down on the river. These are just pictures. These are pictures of Point Park, which is out on the point. And in the background, this is another 1975 picture. In the background, you can see one of the P&LE trains going by on the far bank.
Nice shot.
There you get another picture, the head end of the bridge going, passing under, the head end of the train passing under the bridge. Here's a picture of how Pittsburgh looked in 1902. Look at all the smoke coming up from the steel mills. And lots of
before pollution laws.
Pardon?
Cora, long before pollution laws.
Right. Well, the first time I ever personally saw Pittsburgh was when I was on the train going back east to go to graduate school. And we passed through Pittsburgh and the whole city was black. That was all of these brick houses clinging to the hillsides, and they were all black from the smoke.
Well, it was a steel.
Reminds one of when London was in its fogs.
Yeah, which poet was it that wrote about the dark satanic mills?
Yeah.
I don't remember which was that, Wordsworth or the dark Milton. Who was it that said it? The dark satanic mills.
Oh, yeah.
Here's Penn Station, which was at that time Penn Central. It says Penn Central Station, the Penn Central days. That is now, is it condominiums or a hotel? I can't remember which.
Wow.
The Amtrak has a station there, but it's like a little shack out behind this station. Here's how it once looked. Notice the stairway going down to the lower level. That was apparently where you went down to get on the trains, was not at the upper level, but at the lower level. And there was a big train shed out in the back. The big train shed out in the back, that's where the Amshack is today. And the Pennsylvania Railroad once ran commuter lines. They ran commuter lines, and this is East Liberty, which is to the east of Pittsburgh. And there's now, recently, they have constructed a busway that follows the same route as
Greg
the old.
might be having the problem on his end.
Somebody having a problem?
Someone having a problem hearing sound.
Yeah, Greg Cormatis, he said he couldn't hear you.
Oh.
No, I don't think, but.
Hey, Cora.
Still having a problem? Still
Cora,
having a problem?
I think that was Lou had a question.
yeah, I do. All your times that you're over in Pittsburgh, have you ever seen any human recreation on the water, like kayak or canoeing?
Good question. I don't know that I have seen it. They have, or at least they did have, like party boats where you could go out and they'd have concerts on the water, but I don't know that I've seen any actual, personal kayaking. Another thing you don't see around is bicycling, which I guess is partly because of the hills.
Yeah, that would be
They've
very.
built all of those
strenuous.
super highways that fill up the valleys that, like when we go out on that Route 376 to Green Tree, there's all of this tangle of highways. And I think, what if you wanted to bicycle or hike? There's nothing but just it's filled up with these limited access roads. It doesn't seem to bother anybody else, but I'm thinking, they tear this stuff down.
They don't encourage it.
Well,
Yeah, but,
outside of the city, there are a lot of those rails to trails facilities.
Oh.
Yes,
So
yes.
a lot of bicycling is done there,
outside the city.
outside the city.
But hilly San Francisco has a lot of bicycling, and there's a lot of electric bikes around.
Yeah, well, that's commie liberal California.
Okay, I bow to the PR.
So anyway, to get on with this was on the north side. There were many different railroads in Pittsburgh in those days, and many different, and all of them having passenger service and many different terminals. This was on the north side, something called the Pittsburgh, Fort Wayne, and Chicago, which was actually mostly owned by the Pennsylvania Railroad. Now we're going to change to a different area east of downtown. So it's when the Baltimore and Ohio still came into the city. It's B&O is now CSX. Let's say the B&O is now, what are they? They CSX, I think. This is a place called Bloomfield. This bridge no longer exists. It's been replaced. It's been replaced by a very nice looking bridge, but not this one. This is looking, you can look down into this valley that had both. Yeah, the B&O tracks were on the lower level, and the Pennsylvania had the tracks higher up on the hill, which is now Norfolk Southern, and that's where the Amtrak comes in. Went under this bridge. I should have a map showing where this is. There must be a fire somewhere. I don't know if you can hear it. There's a siren in the background.
Yes.
It's not my radio.
No,
No, it's not your radio.
not a public service announcement.
Yep.
No, I think I think what it is, we have a volunteer fire department, and so they,
Oh, yeah.
you hear the fire horn, the fire siren when they need
Yeah.
to get into action.
I understand, Cora, they have in Nassau County and Suffolk County too.
Yes, absolutely.
A lot of these towns around here do. They have volunteer fire departments. I think they have some professional firefighters, but
Yes,
mostly
yes.
volunteers. I know that where we take our cars to the garage, where we take our cars for repair, at one time, the man who owned it was on the volunteer fire department. So he had all his firefighting gear all hanging up on the wall, all ready to run on the moment. And here came a B&O train. After this. And here's the old Baltimore and Ohio passenger station. They also came into town.
Styling is unbelievable.
Very nice with the,
Yeah.
Very nice.
They don't build them like that.
No.
now this is a map that shows where, this is part of a much larger map. And you can tell that they glued pieces of it together and they don't quite fit. But the Baltimore and Ohio, whoops, that wasn't what I wanted to do.
There you go.
I'm hitting the wrong key.
Good.
This is what I wanted. No, that's funny. Well,
Only
I'll
go
just
so
show
far.
yeah,
Good.
that the Baltimore and Ohio split into two pieces, which you can't see on this map. You could on the larger map, but this is just a detail of it. The one line went through this chasm that I just showed you, the Bloomfield, where they're sharing a right of way with the Pennsylvania Railroad. Baltimore and Ohio went up one way. Pennsylvania came in the other way to the Pennsylvania station and then crossed the river. But the Baltimore and Ohio also had what amounted to a spur going to the passenger terminal. And they also had a big rail yards there. That rail yard no longer exists. It is now occupied by a large highway.
Excellent.
2013, I came back, Pittsburgh Brewing Company. There are lots of breweries in Pittsburgh. I like their beer. I came back to the same location. That is the bridge that now crosses where I showed you that nice truss bridge before. And there's one line of tracks and a busway. And there's one of the buses. This is just a picture of one of the other forms of transportation that they had back in the old days. Around 1910 was a double-decker streetcar. They only had them for a few years because people didn't like them because
Cora, sort of like the Broadway battleship was in Manhattan.
Oh, did they have double-deck streetcars?
Yes, they had that. According to an article in the comics and the Advance that did research into early transit on the street operation, there was a big car which is called the Broadway battleship. Very difficult to get in and out of. People were injured,
Well,
exiting that thing.
Yeah, well, it was the same way with this, and especially in Pittsburgh, where it's going up and down hills and bumpy tracks.
really
People did not
nasty.
like them.
This is probably bigger than the Broadway battleship. It
Yeah.
takes 110.
Yeah.
I don't know how many the battleship fit.
I think Hong Kong to this day has double decker
Yes.
streets.
Now we're going over to the south side of the Monongahela, and in the background you see Mount Washington, and you can see the J&L works and the 11 smokestacks in the background. I remember seeing those. There were 11 of them, and now we're down on the river, PNLE train. And you can see the other works on the right bank of the river. And on the right bank of the river, this is Jones and Laughlin Company. And they would make the molten iron. They had the blast furnaces on the right bank of the river where they would make the molten iron, and then they would transport the molten iron over to the other side of the river where they had the steel plants, where they could make different kinds of steel from the iron. Here's a close-up.
Why would they do that? That seems so inefficient.
Well, I don't know. I think they just ran out of room to build it on one side, so they built it on the other. Also, it might have had to do with the supply chain. They had to bring into for the blast furnaces to make the molten iron. They would have to bring in the iron ore, the coke. It may have been easier to bring it in from that direction.
Maybe also water transport, maybe water access.
Yeah, well, in the early days, they had to bring it in with the water access. Then they built I'll be showing it to you, the hot metal bridge, where they built a bridge specifically for transporting the molten iron from one side of the river over to the other.
They can
And
carry more by barge than anything else, and that's,
Well, there was a lot of, I have pictures, because I didn't want to overload this presentation. I have lots of pictures of barge traffic and river traffic up and down the rivers. And of course, the Ohio River was one of the, that was the super highway of its day. The Ohio River empties directly into the Mississippi, and that was the the big corridor of the United States. And then there were emptying into the Ohio, you get the Cumberland River, the Tennessee River, and all of their tributaries. So everything went by ship. So there are those 11. There are 11 smokestacks. The South Side Works, the Jones and Laughlin South Side Works. Many of the buildings, I understand, still exist, but they've been taken over by other, other commercial uses and artist lofts and whatever. Here we are again. Here you can see not only the smokestacks, but you can see the huge rail yards that used to be there, many different tracks. Now there's the double track with plenty of room for a hiking trail. Yeah, somebody was asking about bicycling, or no, I guess you were asking about kayaking on the river, but we were talking about trails where you can go biking and hiking. Here is the blast furnaces on the right bank. We used to see these when we would drive into town. We would drive into the city, and we'd get there late at night, driving from New York, and we'd see the flames coming out of the blast furnaces. There you see the hot metal bridge as it looks today. This is from the highway. I told you there was a big rail yard here. Well, that's where the highway is now. It was a big rail yard, and this was the bridge, and this is how it was used. This is another image that I got from that collection called the Brookline Connection. They had specially built tank cars that are sort of lozenge shaped. And there were two bridges. One had just ordinary railroad tracks, but the one that you see on the left, there were these tanks, and they would have a train made up of about 3 or 4 of them. And that would be carrying the molten iron from one side of the river to the other. Now we're in the residential part of the South Side.
Cora,
Yes.
was that molten train narrow gauge or standard?
Gee, I don't know. I'm going to suspect it was narrow gauge, but I don't.
Yeah, it looks narrow to me.
Yeah, I think it probably was. I'll be showing you shortly. I'll be showing you one of the surviving tank cars. In fact, we might be able to even tell from that what gauge it was. They have kept one of them, as a historic exhibit. Is Carson Street, which is sort of the main drag of the South Side. And here are typical houses. And there on the corner, that unassuming looking building that is now only 2 stories high. It used to be 4 stories high. Unfortunately, I don't have a picture of it when it was 4 stories high. That was my husband's childhood home. He grew up there, or he lived there until he was 10 years old. His father had a dental laboratory on the ground floor, and before that, his grandfather had a butcher shop on the ground floor. And John's bedroom was on the 2nd floor, and he could look right out at the Pennsylvania Railroad, which was up on the bluff. And he told me that he learned how to read by reading the words on the side of the car, PENNSYLVANIA. Anyway, there was a fire there, and so they put that kind of phony mansard roof on it, and I don't know who's there now. He is looking up the street, and so the Pennsylvania Railroad tracks are on your right in this picture, up on the bluff, and which is now Norfolk Southern, and down the hill to your left would have been those P&LE tracks. There used to be a streetcar. In fact, even before that, there used to be an actual steam train going on Carson Street. Carson Street also used to be at a higher level than it is now. So the first floors of the buildings that you see now used to be the basements, way, way back in time. And here's a typical residential street in the South Side. And that brick building that you see in the middle with a man walking in the door, that's my husband going in the door. The door has a nice Christmas wreath on it, and that is where John's cousins still live. That was where John's father grew up, and it has been in the family for many generations. And in the basement, you can still see the spigot sticking out from the wall where John's grandfather made moonshine during Prohibition. Anyway, we are about to go in, and as soon as I take this picture, I'm going to go over there and go in there, and we will enjoy a big Polish Christmas Eve dinner. Here's another picture. This is a historic picture looking down on Carson. Carson Street is down to the right. You can see the little steam train going by. And in the background, you can see the Monongahela incline. You can't really see it too well in this picture. And we are going hiking along the Monongahela. And I showed you there was this huge railroad yard there. Well, there's plenty of room now for a biking and hiking trail and the tracks. And looking up the tracks. Yeah, there are 2 parts to the south side. One is the south side flats, which is where we are, and then there's the south side slopes, which is on Mount Washington. And the houses can only be reached by stairways and sort of little crooked ways. Now I'm going to minimize this and where am I? Show you some pictures, some videos. I hope this turns out right. I think this is an automobile transport train.
We are not seeing the video.
No, we're not seeing, it looks like
I don't see anything.
you're zoomed in. What I'm seeing is like a lantern, which is blown up, taking good deal.
That's
And then I'm
right.
seeing 3, and then videos of.
Yeah,
and then,
that's what I see,
You need
but
to
not
just,
the actual video.
you need to zoom out before.
Wonder what happened.
And we're gonna go back.
You may want to just, if you can't immediately fix it, you may want to just try your end screen sharing and then just fool around with it when you,
Well, isn't this faster to do it this way? And
well, maybe you can fix it this way. See if you can zoom out. And if that fixes it.
huh?
Right now, you're zoomed all the way in.
Well, that fills, I can fill the whole screen like that. But I don't know what,
Cora, it's a JPEG is what you have. You don't have a movie at all.
yeah, well, this is a JPEG. This is a JPEG. Did you see the movies that I showed?
No.
No.
Oh,
We're
Oh.
seeing the photos. We're not seeing any movies.
well, this is not a, oh, because I showed you the, huh, that's funny because now when I show this is a movie and you're not seeing it?
No,
No.
we're not seeing.
All it is it's a JPEG that says 3S videos of train something or other.
That's it.
Yeah, because I thought that was the way we did it when, you know, when we tried it out.
You know what you have to do is, you may want to,
Get out of it.
I don't know if you may want end screen sharing first place, if with the movies and then just your movies, I know that, but the best way it works is that before you even screen share, you always open up what you want to watch and just minimize it. If it's a
Okay,
movie
now
that has to be,
Now I can't even find the screen share button. Whoa.
Hmm.
What am I doing wrong?
Up on left.
It's on the bottom middle, the Zoom generally, a green thing.
I know, but I'm not on the Zoom screen anymore. Oh no, I don't know.
Okay.
Did I lose the Zoom screen?
if you just kill it and then you go back and you see the movie, would you want to recontinue where you were? Would you then
Let's
lose
see,
it?
I stop share.
Yep.
I
Okay,
did stop share now.
right.
Now I do the movie. But now when I
You have
click
to
on the
start
movie,
sharing again. You have to start.
Now,
No?
first, you have to, before she starts sharing again, she needs to just open up the movie and just see it.
that's
and
what I'm
then
trying
put
to
it
do.
in
Okay,
pause.
I opened up
Okay.
the movie. Or now, when I open the movie, I lose the share screen button.
Oh, then you know, when you open the movie, minimize the movie. But when you open up the movie
Let's see if I
and it's
can
going, put it in pause and then minimize it.
now minimize it.
Yes, minimize it. Now, when you minimize it, the share
then
screen
share
button should be
screen.
visible.
Can you see the movie now?
No, because you haven't shared, no, we can, but right now it's important, until you press the share screen button, you didn't press the share screen button, did you? First, you have to open the movie, put it in pause, when see that's running, then minimize it, and then just put it, first you put it in pause, you minimize it, and then you should see your share screen button.
Well, I hit the share screen button, but then we lost the movie.
No.
Okay, I start the movie.
Yes, start the movie
And
and
now I
then pause it.
minimize it.
No, you start the movie, you pause it, and then you minimize it.
Maybe I should. Now let me try it. Now I'm hitting share screen.
Yes, okay, share screen and see if, are you seeing your share
Huh.
screen button now?
Minimize it. Oh, wait a minute. Now I don't know. I started the video and then I hit share screen.
No, you start the
Share
video.
screen first.
Hit the start the video, then pause and then minimize. 3 things.
Pause
And then minimize it.
and then minimize.
Yes. Now when it's minimized, when you should see, do you see the share screen button? At the bottom of your
Well,
screen?
I don't see it now. I have to minimize.
No,
Minimize. Now share
minimize the
screen.
movie. And then you share screen.
Yeah, well, I did minimize the movie but I'm hitting share screen. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah. See, on the panel that shows the different choices and then hit share, I do not see the movie on there.
Oh, you're hitting share screen and you're not seeing the movie.
I try share.
Now you're screen sharing. Okay. Now you should see the choice. All right, now we're seeing it.
Yes.
Yeah, we're seeing it. All right. It just disappeared, but actually it was pretty short.
Yeah. Well, now I've lost everything.
It was a short video.
You know, then when you finish with your movie, you may be best off if you then just stop screen share and then just
There you go.
Not share.
easy share screen and then click on the photos that you wanted to share, that you want to recontinue sharing on.
No, it doesn't work. I don't know. It always worked before.
There you go.
Wait, is this what you want? Okay, let it run.
CSX and Conroe.
The train is moving.
It is.
That's it. Stop share. Stop share.
2 good railroads.
I think I saw the video very briefly.
Yeah, I saw it about 10 seconds or so. Okay, so what is it that you'd
I
like
saw a
to?
freight locomotive.
Yes. Okay, what would you like to present next? What's?
This is not working.
It's got to go back to a menu.
You want to show photos or do you want to show a video? You want to show a different movie or you want to show the same movie to completion?
Now are you seeing it?
Yeah, we're seeing it. We were seeing it, but before
Still
the
not
time, we're seeing
seeing
it longer. Okay, yeah. Okay, let it go.
It's a freight locomotive, Union
Right.
Pacific.
Now, did you see it that time?
Yes, we saw it.
Okay, I don't
Yes.
know. I don't know what I did different, but
I saw it.
okay.
Yeah.
It's running.
Running out of space here.
The end of the train. Now, let's see if I can get out of this.
You've now got your screen in front of you, Cora. We can see you, not the program.
Now, let's see if I can.
Right.
We were seeing your photo in the woods.
Now, are you seeing the photo?
Yes.
Yep.
yeah.
Yes,
I see
a
woods.
wooded area.
Yeah, let's see if I can get this back. There. Now, you're seeing the photo?
Yep.
Yes.
Yes. There's
Okay.
a walkway.
Like
That's
an
green walkway.
abandoned train line.
Now I see the.
To
Yeah, we
the,
see
to
it.
the left of us is that train that we just watched.
Yes.
As I said, there used to be a lot of different tracks along here. This is the
Yeah.
remains of one of them. You can see the active
Yes.
tracks.
See where
in
the
back.
ties used to be.
Pipeline crossing.
Must be in the Pittsburgh area.
Well, you can see downtown Pittsburgh is across the river. And
Ah.
we're seeing some of the remains of some of the old docks that used to be along here.
Oh, wow.
Wow, expressive.
John taking a picture.
That area that you took those photos, is it the same today or is it all built up and yuppified?
Well, the buildings are still the same, but the yuppies have moved in. And on the other side, you can see
where the
that
old tracks,
highway. There used to
that
be
area,
tracks.
that area across from downtown where the
Yep.
tracks used to be, is that all built up or is it just the same area, same condition today?
Well, you're looking over at the downtown side, and you can see those highways. That's where the old blast furnaces used to be, and there used to be train tracks and
Mm,
train yards.
mhm.
Wait, I was
Uh,
going.
Oh, I was talking, oh, whoops, wait.
Wait, which ones?
I was talking about the opposite side of the river. Where the abandoned tracks and the piers were. Where John was taking the photo.
That's the way it is today, like that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, that area.
So it
Yeah,
hasn't
that's
been
where
developed.
that's the way it is today, or at least the way it was a couple of years ago
Mhm,
when I took these pictures. No, that's just they just keep it the way it was. That's just parkland now.
mhm.
Now, I haven't been there for 3 years, so I don't know what they've done since then. There you can see steps that used to go down to one of the wharves. Now, a lot of these old buildings, I think, looking at the Google Earth, I think they've been torn down and they're now replaced with parking lots. And there you can see one of the modern transit trains. It's going over the Panhandle Bridge. I think this stuff has all been torn down and is replaced with parking lots today. Ah, there is one of the containers that used to be used on the hot metal bridge. They would use these specialized tank cars to transport the molten iron. Now, you were asking about whether that was standard gauge. That looks narrow gauge to me. I didn't measure them when I was there. I didn't even know what these were when I saw them. A lot of these artifacts, they have signs on them, but this one, for some reason, they hadn't put up, at least.
I think they refer to those as ladle cars.
That was one of the things they sometimes call them. Yes, ladle cars, yeah.
Yeah.
And you can tell it's on a sort of a big axle that it can be overturned to empty it. Timken roller bearings.
Yeah, well, real heavy duty here.
I don't know what that stuff is. That's inside. It's sort of whatever it is, corroded inside.
Was the insulation?
The insulation that came off. Maybe that's what it is. It was all sort of white powdery stuff.
Right.
And
they also used to transport slag from the mills.
Yep.
That's true.
Well, maybe that. I don't know if they use these to transport slag, though.
I don't know if they use the ladle cars, but
yeah, I don't know if they used the ladle cars. They wouldn't have, I don't think they would have used the ladle cars for that.
No, but that pile of gray there on the rock reminds me of slag.
But this is that pile of stuff. It's the same stuff that you can see inside through the hole in the side of the tank or the ladle car. You can see that is all filled up with that stuff, whatever it is.
Yeah.
If it didn't have it, the molten ladle would melt the ladle.
I don't know, maybe it would, yeah, if that was iron in there and if that had just corroded, that would be like rust color. I don't know what that stuff is. And there's the Monongahela incline in the background.
Yeah, I went up that. It's neat.
Well, I have pictures that if we can get the video going, I have video of both inclines. Is the Smithfield Street Bridge. This was part of one of the blast furnaces. The blowing engine was literally the lungs of a blast furnace. That would blow, I guess, blow air through to burn the coke. And here's all the explanation of how it worked. There's the Smithfield Street Bridge. This was, I think, the third bridge that was built on this site. It originally only had 2 trusses instead of 3, and it only had one. There was only one side of it. Was built by, this replaced a suspension bridge that was built by John Roebling, and that replaced, I believe the first one was a wooden bridge. Here you can see the Smithfield Street Bridge was the original portal to the original part, which they still had in place. Here you see it originally only had the 1/2 to it. And they simply left the old portal in place until 1915 when they replaced it with the modern portal. And they actually increased, even after they added the 3rd truss, they increased the width of the bridge by literally moving the truss farther upstream. And there you can see a Norfolk Southern train, container train going by in the background. And one of the modern transit trains going over the Panhandle Bridge. Now I'm going to try again, stop share. Try again to take.
Technology is tough. It's tough.
Let's see, start the video. And then pause the video. I hope this works. Minimize. Share screen. But I don't see the picture of the video.
Wait, first, right now, you want to present photos, JPEG files?
I wanted to present, now I
video.
wanted to present a video. I've stopped the share.
Yes, right. And now open up
Start
the
that
video that you want to present. Yep. Once it's running, put it in pause.
I
and
put
then
it in
minimize-
pause
And then minimize the video.
and minimize.
Now, do you see the share screen button? At the
See
bottom?
the green share screen button.
Yes,
button.
you click on that share screen, and then when you click on it, you should see a choice. And
But
one of those
the-
choices,
But the one I want to show does not show the choice. Let's see, show all windows. Let me see if I know that.
sometimes how many choices are there? Sometimes it may be a maximum number of choices. If you
Oh.
have many things open, that you may have maxed out. So you
Oh.
may need to close some of the things that
Let me close some of the
open
things
that you're
that
no
were.
longer showing.
Okay, I'll close these. Mm,
And now, just
now share screen and see if it's,
see if you're seeing the choice.
that doesn't show that as one of the, now, before I've got it to show the choice. It
Oh.
doesn't show it.
See if you could hit it.
What am I doing wrong? Because I got it, I got it to work very briefly.
Yeah, I saw the last movie. It was a freight train.
You know what? Well, I'm not sure if you. Okay, you are screen share. All
Here
right,
we
now,
go.
do you see one of the choices?
I
for
don't
something
see that as
like-
one of the choices. No, I
You see
can't.
video,
I'm seeing many things up there.
Firefox, I see that.
Oh, well, I wanted to say stop share. Maybe that's what I forgot. Oh,
Yes, you need to stop stream altogether.
Pause this.
Now, see how many things are still open that you no longer need. Close them out.
I closed the ones that were open that I no longer needed.
Okay, now open what you want to present.
Yeah, well, I started the video.
Okay, now pause. Put it in pause and then
Yeah.
minimize.
I
And I
paused it, I minimized it.
Okay, now click on share screen.
I don't wanna
Paused
do
it.
it.
I minimized it.
All right, now click
And I
on
click
share.
on
Screen.
share screen.
Yes. Now see if one of the choices is what you want to present.
No, it is not.
Oh, gee.
You don't
Well,
see it.
I can just go on. I can just go on to the next still picture.
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay,
that's
that'd be a good idea then.
Yeah.
Digital slides.
But unfortunately, I have some nice pictures of the incline. I don't know, I was able to do this for the NRHS and it's not working here. Well, I'll just go on.
Thanks.
I don't know why I was able to do it for the NRHS and I'm not able to do it here. I was able to do it very briefly, but then it, wait a minute. I got, let me
You see
try
it
something
now?
out. Wait a minute, I think maybe I got it. Let me try once more.
Yeah.
All right, now,
There we go.
Are you seeing it now?
yes, we are.
Yes.
Are
Now
you
I see
seeing
the
movie?
video.
We're seeing the
Yes.
movie.
CSX freight engine.
Can you see the movie?
Yes,
Yes.
yes, we are seeing it.
I see it. CSX. Under the bridge. It's really good.
It's a good railroad.
Yeah.
I got stock in it. It's got to be a good railroad.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, I remember
Okay,
going
yeah.
to, I remember going to an Italian restaurant right nearby. Good food.
Oh. At Station
Now,
Square.
let's
Yes.
try this again. I'll go back to. You see the station?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
let's
yes, I
do
remember
this.
that.
Pittsburgh and Lake Erie. It's really good.
Oh, wait, that wasn't what I meant to do. Where's my picture? Here's the old P&LE station, and over to the left, you see the old freight houses, which are now a shopping mall.
Yeah.
Now
Appropriate.
you come in on the lower level. You could not have done that in the old days when this was a passenger station because there were tracks on both sides.
Wow.
This is the inside now.
Pretty nice.
Now, you wouldn't know it today from looking at that back wall, but that is where the gates were that went out to the train. If you wanted to get your train, that's where the gates were. That's where you would show your ticket. You'd buy your ticket in this great hall over on the right-hand side, I believe is where the ticket window was. The baggage claim was on the left-hand side. And at the back, you could go out to the trains. This was the actual entrance, which was from the Smithfield Street Bridge on the upper level. You couldn't get in from the lower level. Today, the main entrance is on the lower level. And here we are sitting on this sort of nice little dining area out by the tracks. This is, I mean, I used to think this was where the platform was, that you would wait for the trains, but no, you'd go to the trains out the back side of the station. This was a kind of a walkway where you could exit the trains without having to go through the station. And you can sit there and watch the trains go by.
That's nice.
There's the Smithfield Street Bridge. It's getting dark, and so they turn on the ornamental lights. They have lights on the bridge. And here's the ladies' room. Oh, you fellas won't see that, but that is a beautiful restroom. Here is an old picture of the station, and you can see how there were actual train tracks on the part where you come in today from the shopping mall, and you would enter from the Smithfield Street Bridge. This is from the other side. You can see the big train shed out in the back, and it's difficult to see because it's behind the railings, but there's a kind of a little you know, a little covering over a little roof over that outside walkway, and you'd get off the train, you'd come on that outside walkway, go up the stairs, and then they had a little waiting area where you could wait for the streetcar to go into town over the bridge. Here's the interior, the way it used to look when it was a train station. Now, yes, I sort of think of the PNLE as having ended at Pittsburgh, but it didn't. Now it's called the Pittsburgh and Lake Erie. It never really made it all the way to Lake Erie. It made it as far as Youngstown, Ohio, where it would connect with another road. But out west of the station was shops that belonged to the PNLE. That site is now owned by CSX, and I understand that they want to develop that as an intermodal facility.
Fine. Good.
Now we come to the famous inclines. And there once were many more of them. Here was one that actually had a curve in it. It was called the Knoxville incline. And it had big cars that you could get an entire wagon and a team of horses on it. And then they had some kind of safety equipment to keep the horses and the wagon from rolling out the back. This had there once were, I think there was something like 25 inclines just going up Mount Washington. Here's another picture of it. And there's the one called the Mount Oliver incline, which was a straight incline, is in behind it. The Castle Shannon incline, which had a passenger incline on one set of tracks and a freight incline on the other.
Huh.
And here was one of the cars, and some of the cars that underneath there would be a baggage compartment so that passengers could ride up in the car in the passenger part of it and then put their baggage and whatever else they were transporting underneath. This was called the Penn Incline. This is on the other side of downtown where Penn Station is. That this was mainly to carry freight cars and carry coal and various supplies that were needed up on the top of the hill. And then over on the north side, on the other side of the Allegheny River, there was what was called the Nunnery Hill incline. It was also a curved incline. And this is what's left of one of the inclines on Carson Street. You can see where the ruins of the incline used to be. And I believe this was where there was another incline, which is just vacant property now. The Duquesne incline is now owned by Allegheny County. Oh, by the way, I don't remember now which one it was, but there was one of the inclines was actually designed by a woman engineer. She was the daughter of the chief engineer who was building many of the inclines, and his daughter was also an engineer.
Oh.
So this is owned by the Port Authority of Allegheny County, and you can transfer from here to the let's see. No, this is the one. Yeah, it's still the Duquesne incline is the one that is still operated by a private group. The Monongahela incline is operated by the county. You can see underneath the car that baggage, what used to be the baggage compartment. And there's a parking lot on the other side of Carson Street. That's why there's a little bridge here that you can park down below and go across on this little bridge. And there's an ad for beer, of course. The taverns in the south side, they would know when the mill workers were getting out of the steel mills, and they would have the beers lined up on the counter, all ready for the mill workers to come in. The whistle would blow, the mill workers would come in, they would be served their food, they'd eat, they'd drink their beer, whistle would blow again, and they'd all leave. And then they could serve other customers. No other customers were allowed to eat until the mill workers had eaten their lunch.
Wow.
Out behind and underneath the incline, you can see the trains going by. This used to be the Pennsylvania line. Parking lot with a porta potty. I think that's the new stadium on the other side, the one that replaced the Three Rivers Stadium. Looking down the river from the incline. Looking up the river again. Statue of George Washington and an Indian chief.
Oh, wow. That is nice. That's when he went out there with Braddock in the 1750s during the French Indian War.
Yeah.
I remember that thing.
Yeah.
For an extra 50 cents, you can go into the machine room. Watch all the gears going round and round.
Yep.
Complete description of the system. Now, I'm going to try again.
Okay.
See if I can do this. Okay, stop share. Hang on. Okay, start the movie. Pause movie.
Minimize.
Minimize. Oh, why is it not? Oh, hit maximize and minimize.
It's minimize, that's right. Pause, minimize the movie
Share screen, and let's find.
and see what choices you have.
There you go.
Now let's go.
There we
Now,
go.
can you see it?
That's the,
You
yes,
see
we
the wheel, wheelhouse.
Oh, wait a minute, what happened?
We're in
Why-
your
You
wheelhouse.
see, now we have to, it's just press play. See,
Yeah,
there's,
just
right down
press
below,
play.
there's a forward button.
I did see, yeah, wait a minute.
If you
Oh,
press on that should
Yeah,
play.
wait, I
You'll
lost
see the
everything.
wheel.
No, I lost everything.
We're still seeing that photo.
Yeah,
Well, that's a movie.
it's supposed to be a movie. Are you
There,
seeing
it
it, or do we have
it's
to go
going,
through
you
that?
see it.
I
Okay.
saw the motion on the wheel.
Okay, it's going.
It's going?
Yes.
Right. It's a little choppy, but it is going.
I could see it. I see the cable.
Mhm.
It looks
That
really
little
good.
motor's got to do a lot of work.
It is.
Oh, yeah. This is a private operation, the Duquesne. That's why they charge to visit the machine room. The Mount Washington, that's a pub, that's a part of PACCO.
There's nothing.
Where's Charlie Chaplin?
Or Buster Keaton.
Huh.
Goes. Things were meant to last, built to last. There you go. Nice. Ah,
There's a little kid with a cell phone.
wow. Nice view.
Yep.
There are the Norfolk Southern tracks underneath.
I'll be right back.
Joe,
Just gotta get up a minute.
Oh, that's a nice view,
it is.
right down to the river. Bird's eye view.
Facility looks well maintained.
Does.
Bet you there's no crime on that.
Yeah. Oh, you're enclosed, yeah.
Wow. Looks like it's going pretty fast.
Yeah.
Like a beautiful day. There he is.
Yeah.
Does it seem to go faster on the way down and then way up?
No, I think it's about the
Yeah, I
same
think-
because the wheel. They down and both the cars move simultaneously.
There he is. Wow. It's a long stretch.
Okay, now sharing is done. Now
All
we
right,
go
well,
back.
like
Now
present-
we still have one more incline to go.
Okay, so repeat the process where you just start the video, pause it.
Well,
Right.
we aren't, yeah, well, this isn't the video yet. This is there are a couple of still pictures first.
Oh, yeah, but okay, then
Yeah,
if they're in sequence, then what you do is just open up the first one in the sequence,
Yep.
minimize it, and then screen share.
okay, can you see it now?
Yes, we see an
Yes.
orange and yellow. Just
I see the incline.
You see the incline. Okay, that's
Yes.
what we want to, that's what we want to see.
Excellent.
This is the other incline. Why is it?
Right, the
Monongahela.
Monongahela. Yes.
Notice the sign down in the lower left. It says Wabash HOV. That's what they did with the old Wabash Railroad Tunnel. It's now an HOV tunnel.
Oh,
Not very well used, I understand it. So
Yeah.
it goes in one direction in the morning rush hour and in the other direction in the evening rush hour. Monongahela incline, you can transfer from here to the to their light rail system, or you can park your car over at Station Square and then drive through the tunnel. You have several choices.
Almost looks like a little house.
Yeah, it looks like this is a very different, this is a different construction from the Duquesne incline. This was a, this was the passenger line only. You can see that they also had a freight line at one time. Here you see the passenger line with this sort of stair step cubicles on the right, and you can see the big freight incline on the other side. The only thing that remains now is the passenger incline. Here's another picture of it.
Wow.
There used to be coal mines on the top of Mount Washington, and some of these inclines were actually built to transport the coal from the coal mines.
Where'd the name come from?
What, Monongahela?
Yeah.
It's one of the names.
I guess it's an Indian name. Well, it's the name,
Indian.
it's the Monongahela River. I don't
Yes.
know. Well, I don't know what it means in the Native American language. You can see that it's going over the Pennsylvania Railroad tracks,
Right.
which we
Look at
could
that.
see out the window of the incline.
Amazing.
And here we are up at the top.
I guess it's now Norfolk Southern, right?
Norfolk Southern, yeah. So the old P&LE tracks, P&LE is now CSX, and the Pennsylvania is now Norfolk Southern.
Amazing.
And there's a little neighborhood up at the top. Now we're looking down, we can look down on the Smithfield Street Bridge and the P&LE station.
Look at that.
This was actually, I took these pictures on a very rainy day, and I had to sort of lighten up some of the pictures. So that's why they look kind of funny, that this was actually a very dark picture, and I used photo paint to lighten it up so you could
Right, yeah, so
actually see some of the detail.
That's good.
It becomes grainy when you use it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I noticed that with Photoshop packages.
Okay,
nice.
now we're gonna stop
Yeah.
share, and we go back to.
Okay, what's
Where
next?
we are approaching the end of the program.
All right.
Good.
Are they
And now
videos or
let's start
photos that are next?
pause. Minimize. Share screen.
There we go.
And
That.
you see it?
Yes,
Oh,
yes.
we finally
Oh,
got it.
yes, we see the video of.
Off we
Yeah,
go.
All its glory.
It's going.
There we go.
Imagine what you have to do to maintain.
Oh, yeah.
Way down. There you go, uppity up, up. There you go, down, down, down.
Up, down, flying around, looping the loop and defying ground.
We need them in the Bronx. All right. It made it. Seeing shots like this, I'm glad I'm not a roofer.
Yeah. You have to be able to handle those heights.
Yeah, that you do.
You have to strap yourself in.
They're the old freight warehouses that is now the shopping mall next to the P&LE station.
Oh, yeah, Station Square.
Amazing.
Yeah, those blue lights aren't just for decoration. They are for also for safety. If for some reason at night they have to get people out of there at night, out of the car at night, or maintenance crews have to go up so they won't fall over the side.
Oh, God.
Oh, we have a question from someone. Are they automatic? I guess, no, I mean, someone just starts them, right?
It's mechanical.
Yeah, right, that someone starts the descent and starts the ascent when it's ready to leave.
You know, one goes down and the other one goes up.
That's right. It's a counterweight.
It's not automatic, right? There's someone who just oversees it.
Jeez. Okay.
All right.
Pogodi adesso.
Yeah.
Che cosa sa? Detroit. Pastor?
No. Really small. Rapid transit.
To je ono kao Detroit, kako beše?
No.
Nego? Pa zar nije Detroit, gde beše ima to? Ima onde u Des Moines, Michigan. Ne,
Ima
Dubuque.
Yeah.
I tamo gde smo išli u restoran, onaj.
Pittsburgh Lake Erie
to
Station i
Pittsburgh.
malo pozivao restoran, vozi kako polazora, voz parkira, dakle, Pittsburgh.
Ja sam to znala.
Just have a couple more.
Very
pictures.
good.
Just a couple more pictures
Okay,
down at the bottom.
Excellent.
okay, so just make
Okay,
sure
let's
that
see.
are
You got this?
open and minimized
Let me
before
see.
you share screen.
Okay, here,
Yeah, I
we
see
got,
them.
got to the bottom. Again, this was a very dark picture that I had to sort of lighten up so you could see anything. You can see the blue lights out the
Right,
out through the window. And it was Christmas time, so there's a Christmas wreath.
Nice.
Uh-huh.
And now we're at the end.
Oh,
Very nice.
yes, very good, very nice.
Thank you, Cora, very nice.
Thank you,
Great.
very
You're
good.
welcome.
Excellent program.
Thank you
Excellent,
for
Cora.
being patient.
Yes,
Thank
Yeah.
Thank you, Ms. Sowa, Mr. Calca. Great show.
thank you.
Oh, you're very welcome. Glad you enjoyed it. See you all next month when we'll do another form of
Yes, right.
mountain
See you guys
railroading.
next month.
This
Okay.
one will be via cog railway.
Oh, good.
Yeah. World famous Mount Washington cog railway.
No,
okay.
okay. so,
Good night.
Thanks a lot, Cora.
All right.